Okay, so this one is going to be a little bit different than what I normally do. This is going to be a little bit more about querying the system that the game is running on to get some information, and then you could then take that information and modify settings based on that. So that latter part you'll have to do as far as based on whatever game you're making. You can make adjustments accordingly. This is really just meant to show you how you can get that system information to begin with. So let's just create a game object, create empty, not even going to bother naming it, because this is just about the code. So let's right click, choose create C#, and we'll call it get info. Go and click on game object. Going to drag and drop it onto it. Let's open that up. Zoom in a little bit. Now here's how it works. Just so you can see how it works, we're going to put in the debug log. We're going to take the information, drop into the debug log. What you could then do is you can then take that information, rather than put it into the debug log, you could put it into some kind of user interface where it displays for the player, okay, here's what your system has, and we've made the settings according to that. So debug.log system info dot processor count, and as you can see, it pre-fills for you. So once you know system info is what you're looking at, you can pretty much just kind of go through this yourself and figure out what you're looking for. So processor count, we'll start with that. Save it. We'll run it. There you go. It's telling you that there's 4 processors. Or in this case, it's actually 4 cores. So far, so good. Debug.log system info dot processor frequency. Next one down. So this will tell you the speed. You can see it's sitting just shy of 3.1 gigahertz. So it's showing it in megahertz. So 3000 megahertz, so 3.1 gigahertz. Next one, debug.log system info dot processor type. This kind of puts a lot of the information into one line. But if you're trying to make decisions, you really want just the basics. Okay, what's the speed? What's the count? And then you make a decision based on that. Whereas this kind of just gives you a whole bunch of information in one line and makes it harder to extract what you want from that. So maybe you would display this to the player, the user, but you wouldn't actually use this for the decision making. And there you go. Intel Core i5-4440 CPU at 3.1. So that verifies the other information. This one said it was just shy of 3.1, and this one's saying it is 3.1. And I can confirm this is correct. I bought this computer a couple years ago. Going on 3 years now, actually. And you can just keep going from there. Okay, so let's take a look at some graphic card stats now. So system info dot graphics memory size. So how many gigs of memory does it have? There you go. It has just shy of 2 gigs. And just one more. So graphics. Graphics device name. There you go, NVIDIA GeForce GTX 750 Ti. And you can just keep going on from there. You can get more specific as far as what's the API that it's using, things like that. So it's that easy to query the system to find out what's running under the hood, and then you can make decisions based on that information. Now, as far as making that forward-facing, you could use the built-in Unity Gui. I haven't really learned how to use it yet, so I still use the old school. Create an object, add component, mesh, text mesh, and we set graphic size to 0.15, and we set font size to like 48, and the font is Arial. And now what we do is we'll just create a new script. We'll call it text control. Click on that. Put text control on it. And now what we're going to do is in the start section, so get component, text mesh, dot text equals, and then you just start grabbing these. And so you do something like processor. The first one was what? Processor speed or count? Processor count. And you can actually use just one, you can use just one object for all these separate texts because what you can do is you can use a page break. And then you would do, next one is processor frequency. So processor frequency. And just keep going on and on and on. I'll probably just stop after this so you can see that it's working. So it's the open quote, close quote, plus that open quote, close the quote, plus that. All right, so that should work. And what I'm going to do is we're going to take that, we're going to put it in front of the camera because it doesn't look like it is. So main camera 0, 1, negative 10. So 0, 1, and now we'll run it. And so it just starts displaying the information. A little bit too big though, so let's make that 12. Okay, there we go. The page break didn't work though. Actually, I believe that should be /n. I was thinking B for break. And there you go. So sorry about that. So now it says processor count 4, processor frequency 3.1, and now it just goes on and on and on. So you can just keep displaying the information for the player. Maybe there'd be like on the option menu, there'd be a config screen, and the config screen says, hey, here's what you've got. So that's about it for this video. Any other questions, just let me know.